Hey, Kingdom Dream Chasers. All right, so we're going to have a little math problem today. Some of you might be like, oh no, I promise you, simple math, and this is going to be life changing. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a story at the beginning. I'm going to need you to have a little patience with me as I lay it out, but then we're going to talk about some very tangible ways you can start implementing this in just 15 minutes and how you can start to really make a fun, exciting shift in your business. So, reading a book, and this book was referred to me a number of different, you know how when someone tells you about it and you hear about it in another place, and then you like arrives in the mail? It's like God's like, yeah, Gail, read the book. Okay. So the book is called Profit First. And if you're not familiar with it, I'm just going to briefly give you the Cliff Notes version. Okay. Normally, what we do in business is we say, okay, income comes in minus expenses equals profit. Well, the author makes a very strong case for why that is not sustainable, typically does not work, how most entrepreneurs with that method of thinking, and it's very accountants use this thinking all the time. And you might be like, well, Gail, if accountants use it and it's been prevailing wisdom for a long time, why are you going against it? Why is this author going against it? Well, because it's in many ways not working. So the entrepreneur is basically saying, okay, it's exciting. Ooh, income's coming in, but then there are expenses. Every business has expenses. Um, and we'll talk about percentages in a few minutes. But so then it's like, well, whatever's left over is my profit. Right. And so often we make buying decisions around expenses based on what? Based on our profit? No, based on what income is sitting there. And so we make expenses around that. Sometimes we even make it an investment in something and the income isn't there in the belief that the income will be there. All right. So these are pretty typical business decisions. But what this author is saying is instead of looking at it as income minus expenses equals profit, how about profit minus income equals expenses? So what he's saying is you're going to look at your profit first. The profit of your business, having a profitable business is going to be the priority. That's going to be first, not the income, because income can come and go, income can fluctuate, but the profit is going to be what your eyes are going to be looking for. This is wisdom. I really believe this is a biblical shift um, for me. All right. So, you're going to have to make your own decisions, but I'm going to break this down practically for you in a minute. So, we look at our business as being profitable. We are to steward well, which means I have a profitable business minus my income, which means that's my paycheck. All right. That's my paycheck equals expenses. So, whatever's in that expense account, all right, that's what I get to invest. So if it's not there, well, then I've got to do what? Earn some more income. Okay. So this is kind of like the white envelope system, if you remember. Back in the day, you've probably heard about this, but you've got a white envelope and the money comes in and you distribute right away. If you've got, this money's going in for rent or mortgage payment, this is going in for car payment, this is going in for the electrical bill, this is going in for a little savings account that you might have to be taking on a dream trip, but you're going to put a little bit in the savings envelope, um, school supplies, whatever your envelopes say, right? But you take that income when it comes in and you tell the income where to go. So there's actually a bank now that is just focuses on helping businesswomen, female businesswomen, to they literally create all these accounts for you. It's really amazing. It's called Impressia Bank, and doesn't matter where you are in the country. And sorry, this is U.S. based. I don't believe they're in Canada yet. So they create all the accounts. So the money comes in and you literally can control what percentage on what day you want these distributions to be made. And you can go and make adjustments a couple days that you're like, oh, I need to make an adjustment or all right. So what does this do for you? Well, what happens is like with the white envelopes, you're telling the money where to go. You're driving the money, you're managing the money, and it puts you in a much more place of strength and wisdom. And here's the kicker: it gets you doing the activities that are driving the profit instead of doing the activities that fund your expenses. So it really creates a massive shift in how you look at the money that's coming in. Instead of looking the money, but typically I've looked at the money that's coming in as okay, now I get to pay my expenses, or that now I get to invest in this next thing because this money's coming in versus holding where's the profit minus my income equals expenses. So quick example, $1,000 comes in, all right? 5 main accounts. The money comes into what is your operating expenses account, all right? So it's the income that comes in, it's gonna get distributed, but it's also gonna be from where you will pay expenses in the future, all right? So the money comes in, and now it's gonna be distributed. It's gonna go to tax. There's gonna be a tax place, so a percentage of everything that comes in, a little bit will go to the tax account. A little bit goes to pay you. That's really the first one. Your paycheck account. So you're the owner of the business, but you're also the employee. So your paycheck, okay? Then you've got so we have income coming in, we have expenses, we've got tax, we've got our paycheck, and then the profit account is where future distributions of income come from. So there's a percentage that's going into profit. That's like a profit as an owner. Totally different from your paycheck. And you might be thinking, well, I wish there was enough money for all these things to go in all these different places, but you're just talking about percentages. And he lays it out like, look, if you're living right now on $1,000 and your business is operating on that $1,000, well, how about just living on 999? So he says, just go in small increments. He's not telling you to make massive changes at the beginning because, again, you're in control of those percentages and you can make adjustments as needed. But again, you're telling the money where to go. And so this is a powerful shift and it puts you in the driver's seat of your business. I opened up 2 additional accounts. I have a giving account, so a percentage will go into giving. And then I also have, you might have a sales tax account, or specifically, I have a retreat account. So when monies come in, those monies are going to go back out to the retreat venue. So I need to put those somewhere separate so I don't treat them as income, right? So I need that to go somewhere separate. So those accounts are set up. Now, here's where the interesting part is. I'm going to challenge you to, and this is going to make sense at the end. I'm going to challenge you to do one of my favorite things, which is called a brain dump. And if you've worked with me or been around me or have been to any of my trainings, you probably have heard me talk about a brain dump. It is a wonderful tool to use for many different reasons. I highly recommend it when you're feeling anxious. I highly recommend it when you're just feeling emotionally unsettled. I highly recommend it when you're trying to figure out um, what's most important to you in your business or in any situation. Just get all of the thoughts that are swirling out and down on paper. So you set the timer. If you have, go to the dollar store for $1.29, buy a little egg timer and put it on your desk. Set it for 15 minutes and just start writing. Zero judgment. Doesn't matter what you write down on the paper. But in this task, I'm asking you to write down every single thing you do as a task when it comes to your business. Okay? Anything. So I post on social media, I scroll on social media, I schedule my social media posts, I work on my content with ChatGPT, I do follow up, um, I go to sales trainings. All right, you get the picture. Everything that you do that is a task that you do in your business. Don't judge it. Don't evaluate it. Just write it down. Just brain dump it. Get it out. Typically, before the timer goes off, you will have exhausted your thoughts, and some beautiful things happen. Number one, they're all out of your head. Can we say praise Jesus? Because we need as much space up there as we could possibly get. So, doing a brain dump is a wonderful exercise. Number two, visually now, they're right in front of you. Whoa, they went from this swirling up in my head. I'm trying to find them, figure out what's going on, deal with this one, deal with that one in the midst of everything else. Nope. Now I've got them down in black and white on a piece of paper in front of me. So action item number two. So the first was to do the brain dump. The second is now looking at that list. What are the income producing activities on the list? So you're often going to find many activities on your list are not actually income producing activities. All right. So this is a lesson in discernment. All right. So what happens is you start circling what are those income producing, which I like to call your MITs. They are your most important tasks because if you don't do those, you're not going to have a business for very long, right? Because if the business isn't bringing in revenue, income, leads, sales, then you're going to either be just breaking even all the time, and that's not sustainable. So it won't be long before you just check out. Um, but there's a lot of pain in the process of that. It erodes your faith, it erodes your confidence, it makes you tell lies to yourself, like I wasn't cut out for this anyway, and all of this stuff that isn't even true. Um, so when you start looking at what's most important, now your eyes know, ooh, these are the activities I need to pay attention to. And here is my favorite little thing and how I'm going to bring this exercise back together with profit first. So I've been implementing profit first. And again, if you've been around me a while, you know I love to share the things that I'm personally going through in my business because I believe that what God gives to me, I want to share with you because I believe it helps somebody. So here's the really fun part. So I'm wondering about this profit account, right? So there's a percentage of the money going to the profit, but it's not my paycheck is separate. So what I'm paying myself as a coach, that's going into a separate account. So what's going on with this profit account? And I realized that when I was in direct sales and network marketing, one of my favorite things to do was chase the incentive trips. I earned the incentive trips every year. Sometimes our company had two or three a year. I wouldn't have missed them. It was I was going to focus, please hear me. I was going to focus on the tasks only that were going to get me to earn that trip. All right. So they were income producing, right? Or they were incentive producing. They were activities that were going to get me to a target. So when you look at your most important activities now, what I want you to consider is you're going to gamify your week. What do you mean, Gail? Well, I mean, like for me, I work Monday through Thursdays. So so I'm going to decide I'm going to make a goal, an income goal that I want to hit by the end of the week. And in order to, I'm not going to focus on the outcome though. I'm going to focus on what are the activities that are most likely going to get me to hit that income goal. Now I may miss it one week, but I might hit it twice the next week. The goal is by the end of the month, I will have hit it 4 times. Okay. And when and how it comes together, but I will be learning so much by gamifying my week. So, what does it mean? It means I'm going to make a list of the key activities that I am going to commit to doing Monday during my week, which for me is Monday through Thursday. And if I have completed those tasks by the end of the week, I will get to go from my profit account and distribute some money, a set amount. So let's say $100 just to keep it simple. All right. Or $50, whatever it is. But I get to go into my profit account and I get to transfer $50 into my income account as a bonus for doing the income producing activities that I promised myself I was going to do. Now, does that mean that I hit my sales goal? Not necessarily. I still get rewarded. However, it's not sustainable if the income producing activities I've identified aren't actually bringing at the end of the month. I actually didn't bring in the income. So let's say my goal was to bring in $100 a week, and I only brought in $200 for the month. Well, I missed my goal by 50%. So now I know next month take I've got to make adjustments, right? Because I was overcompensating. But what I really want to be doing is not adjusting my transfer into my account. What I want to be adjusting is my activities. All right. I want to leave my gamifying in place, but I want to change something in my activities because something needs to be tweaked because something's not working, right, as I intended. So I don't know about you, but this has got me really excited. I have all of my accounts set up and now just kind of figuring I still have a credit card. I only have one credit card, but it's over in the old bank and I need to figure out if I'm leaving it there, if I'm moving it. So there's just still some moving parts, but I've given myself a lot of grace. This program also comes with 2 coaching calls a month. So I get to go on and they ask, where are you at? How are you doing in the process? What can we help you with? So it's just, and it's all women. So it's just amazing. Um, Today we talked about different money mindsets, things like that. So I'm just having fun when it comes to managing money. And that in itself is a miracle. Praise you, Jesus. And thank you for this. So I just wanted to encourage you. I pray that income minus expenses equals profit, that you might ditch that and consider profit first, minus the income to pay yourself, and then expenses. Um, Consider even you're going to the white envelope system or considering finding a bank or even looking into Impressia Bank. It's like the word impress, but Impressia with an IA. And doing my challenge, which is number one, 15-minute brain dump. Number two, most important activities. Number three, setting that sales goal and making a commitment to completing those most important tasks so that you can hit that goal and your income can rise. The coach who recommended this strategy, and I'm going to wrap up with this. She had a client who was making about $3,000 a month. After she implemented this, I didn't ask her how long it took, but she's doing 10,000 a month now. And she said she considers her growth completely having to do with the fact that she created this system, because what it did is it got her to stop doing tasks that were actually not moving her business forward, not producing income. And she got really clear on the things that were pulling the levers, as someone said today. So making money isn't hard if you know what levers to pull. And so this exercise is helping you to determine what are the levers, what are the activities that when I pull these levers, things actually start happening in my business. So I really look forward to hearing from you on this, and I pray that it blessed you. And I look forward to reach out to me if you have any questions about what I was sharing. And look forward to sharing more of my journey as it goes along. And as I get this implemented, I'll have results and I'll come back and share with you.